Hello beautiful people. So today I found this old boat on the river and I sneaked here to film this video. Today I want to talk about the science and the synchronicities the universe is trying to send us, and what happens if we continuously disregard these signs. This is my story about the Black Obsidian stone. It is actually quite recent and it happened a couple of months ago. So one evening I was sitting and relaxing, scrolling through the internet, and I saw this message about the Black Obsidian stone and its meaning. And obviously I wasn't searching for any Black Obsidian stones, and I totally disregarded this message. The time went by, a few days passed, and I kept seeing this Black Obsidian stone in the articles, on YouTube and everywhere. Then I thought that perhaps the universe is trying to tell me something. At that time, the God was sitting on the clouds and looking down at me as he saw my little ego floating around. He kind of looked and said to himself, "Oh, this poor soul needs some additional lessons." So he took the fishing rod, the bait, he threw it at me and I took it. Decided that if the universe keeps sending me all these messages about the Black Obsidian stone, I should look into buying one. I knew this person who was selling crystals. He had a crystal shop, and I purchased all these smaller crystals from him a couple of years ago. So I have contacted him, and he said that he has another job and crystals are his hobby, so he is in his shop only in the evenings. So we have set a time to meet up, and when the time approached, he informed me that he is busy and he cannot make it. So we should reschedule the meeting. And obviously I'm quite good at learning the signs and the symbols that the universe is sending to me, but this time I was quite fixed on this stone, and I was like, I'm supposed to have it, I should have it, at least I should try to see how it works with me, how I feel by touching it and having it in my hands. So I disregarded this sign and I was like, fine, let's reschedule the meeting, let's meet some other day. So the day comes, and it was early winter weekend, and during the corona times in my country we couldn't travel from one city to another without having like paperwork to prove that you can travel for one reason or another. I'm running quite late, and I turn on the printer. I'm supposed to print out this sheet of paper, and the printer freezes on me. The laptop freezes on me, and I remember sitting there and almost like crying, waiting for 20 minutes to somehow make it live so I could, print out the paperwork. So I make it somehow. And I called this guy and I say, listen, I will be late. If you don't want to wait for me, as he had some business meeting or whatever, he had some other matters, you don't wait for me, we will arrange some other time. And he says, no, it's okay, I'll wait for you. All right. So I sit in my car all frustrated, all rushed up, and as I start driving, this huge storm approaches me, lots of snow, it's impossible to drive fast, and it was just a mess. But I was like, no, it's okay, it's winter, it's supposed to be snowing, it doesn't mean anything. So I get to the place already kind of weathered and not in the best place of mind. And I walk up to the shop, and this guy is sitting there. He's one of those Zen guys with the wide hockey pants, multicolored top, and long beard. So he has this really beautiful crystal shop, really nicely set up, and beautiful shelves, quite tall ones, full of crystals, nice sofa, and he's sitting there in the corner on his desk and processing some orders he has to send out to his clients. So he says to me, just go up and just look at some stones and see which stone is calling you. And all I knew, I haven't asked him, where is the black obsidian stone? I want the black obsidian. That's why I came through hell, to get the black obsidian stone. I walk into the shop and I'm drawn to this stone, which is the farthest from me, at the corner of this room. And it's pretty, I'm telling you, it's really lovely. It's a huge ball, all black, looks kind of magical. And I pick up this stone, and the surface is smooth, it has beautiful energy. I really love it. And I bring it up to him, and I ask him, can I have this stone? He looks at me with a surprising grin, and he says, no, you cannot. I'm like, why? Well, if it's on the shelf, then you are selling it, right? No, he says, it's not up for sale. It is the first stone, he says, which I have actually purchased when I started my crystal business. And that's not the most surprising thing what he says. He says, this stone has been with me through the hell, back and forth. And this guy is quite open, and he says, I have tried to commit a suicide twice while having this stone. My point of view is that, and I still believe in it, that a crystal doesn't have the power to make somebody commit a suicide. It can be as powerful as bringing up all the dirt and the suppressed emotions, suppressed trauma up to the surface, but how you deal with that trauma is up to you. So the stone is not as powerful as the way he told me. So I tell him, so can you at least allow me to sit with this stone for a while? I want to feel its energy. And he says, yeah, that's fine, you can do it. So I sit down on the sofa and I meditate on this stone. And I keep insisting to have it. There's like little devil inside of me speaking to me, you should have it, you should have it. I'm not listening to my intuition, all the signs the universe is sending me, nothing like that. So I agreed with him that at least what he can do is to lend me this stone for a couple of weeks to work with it. And he said, if you like the energy, I can order a stone from my business partner in Morocco. So I bring this stone back home. It is huge, people. I'm telling you, it weighs like 5 kilos, not less. And I'm thinking, oh, it's brilliant. I will use to film one of my videos. It will look so cool in front of the camera. And I'm thinking, now I think it was my ego speaking more than my inner self. And it was encouraging me to have it, though I didn't actually need it. It was like sort of a game which ended up badly. Well, not that bad, but it ended up with a few significant lessons. So let's carry on. So an evening comes, I pick up the stone and I lay it next to my stomach. I'm reading a book and I don't notice any signs within my body. I don't feel energetically drained. It's not feeling too heavy on me. It's all good. So I'm thinking I will meditate on it for a few weeks. I will film with it and everything will be fine. So the following morning comes and I tested out the stone. It seemed fine and I placed it in the living room. My 8-year-old daughter was sitting. Oh, there's a fish jumping out of the water. My 8-year-old daughter was sitting next to that stone. Well, she was, I think, like 3 meters apart. She wasn't touching it. She was instructed not to go near it. It's not for children. Just mind your own business and leave the stone alone. So she's watching the kids' movies and she spent around 1.5 hours next to the stone. And I was doing some house chores or something like that when she gets up, and I noticed that she's walking quite strangely, like she's being pushed sideways and she cannot walk in a straight line. And my mind cannot connect the two dots in the first place, and I'm thinking, oh, what kind of childish game is she playing? So I instruct her to go into her own room and just play with the toys. And being mother and knowing my daughter's all silly games, I walk next to the door and I think I'll spy on her from the corner to check if she's really messing or if she's having something with her health. And I see that it's not a game, and as she's playing with her doll, her head kind of tilts towards one side and she doesn't see me, so she cannot keep her head straight. And I got like really scared. I'm like shaking a little bit now once I tell this story. It was scary, and I'm thinking, you know, when you catch a cold or when you're coughing, sneezing, it's kind of familiar, but when you cannot feel your coordination, when you cannot stand up properly, it kind of feels alarming, and especially if it's your child. So I sit down and I start thinking, what the hell is this? And I remember that I brought this stone into my house yesterday, and that I received a warning from the crystal shop owner to be careful with the stone. I grab the stone and I take it out into my car, and my daughter starts hiccupping up. She drinks tons of water, but she cannot stop with the hiccups. And from my own experience, I know that hiccups is a first sign of a disturbed energetic field. The evening comes and the day just goes really... I'm quite stressed. It's not going well. And I'm thinking if this thing will pass or what is it in the first place. So 5 o'clock comes, and after lots of tantrums and screams, I managed to put my daughter back to sleep. And she sleeps. She sleeps throughout the night from 5 p.m. until 9 a.m. in the morning. And my daughter is not a big sleeper, but it's very uncommon for her to sleep for that long. The following morning she wakes up, but the symptoms are quite diminished, but it is apparent that she's still a little bit unwell. So few days have passed and she recovered, but I knew that if I kept the stone in my house, then she would get a lot worse. So from my understanding now is I feel that the stone was good for me, for my energetic field, but children have energetic field which is forming and which is not as strong as for the adult energetic field. So the stone, being so big, has had a strong impact onto her. In conclusion, not everything that you really desire in your life is actually meant for you. I truly believe that if this stone is actually meant to enter my life, it will do so, but without me making so much effort. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I would like to hear in the comments down below if you had any interesting instances concerning the crystals. Have you had the chance to experience their profound energy? Bye.